So now I've created all my cases and my classifications. I've added one more, which is for questions, including research question, so that my questions each have a case and they have an attribute called research question, so that I know which questions go with which research question. My people have their um, roles all tied, everything is all set up. It's time to start coding files. So I'm going to go to my files. I'm going to double click on my admin transcript and I'm going to code for my cases. This is the first step before I start coding for actual codes. I'm going to skip over the table of contents for my file. I like that for my actual things. It makes it easier to get around the file, but it's time to start coding. So to do this, I'm going to highlight a section. I'm going to take and highlight text, right click, code section, and I'm going to go cases, and I'm going to people, and I'm going to click. Oh, I need to create one more person. So here, actually, I'm going to code this to administrator. So code section, administrator. I can also do this by going to people, and I can take and highlight their code, their text, and just drag it to admin. So I forgot a person, so I'm going to go to my people. I'm going to add a new case called interviewer. Attribute values, I'm going to make them a people. They are not female. They are a teacher. And they do have CS experience. And now I can triple click, move that into interviewer. Speaker one should be interviewer. 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 Now, one thing I like to have turned on while I do this is I like to show the coding stripes or the highlight. Either one's fine. I'm going to show coding for selected items because right now I'm just doing people coding. So I'm just going to have it show cases and I'm going to show people. And what I'm looking here is I just want to see that I've not missed anything. So triple click, interviewer. I can also turn on coding stripes. Again, I turn on for coding for selected items. And I'm going to go for cases and do people. And I can just do the two that I care about. And I can just sort of see how this is coming as I'm going. Interviewer, triple click, administrator, administrator, interviewer, administrator. And that's how I code for people. It'd be a similar thing for questions. To code for a question, I would take and highlight the entire block for the question. So I typically skip the actual question block because that's not really useful because that's going to be the same for everything. So I'm going to highlight starting here. Just grab the whole chunk and Q1. Now they're not going to show up in my coding stripes unless I go to coding stripes and I go selected items. And I can also show questions. Okay. Now coding stripe will show up for question one. Make sure I click the whole thing. Question 2. Now for the questions, I'm highlighting the people, but for the people, I'm not hiding the people's name because those are redundant for those questions. What's nice about this now, if I double click on, say, if I go to my cases and click on people, and I click on interviewer, if it takes a second, I can see everything the interviewer said about anything. So here's everything the interviewer said, or I can look, more importantly, what the admin said. I can also go look at questions, and I can look at that question. And that'll become more interesting as I have more files coded. So now it's just a matter of coding those for cases. Now, coding for cases is different than coding for actual codes, but coding for cases is always my first step before I code for cases, since that gives me a lot of information about how the files are broken up. It also lets me read over the files again and gives me some more hints about what types of things I'm looking for.